Listen, just because something is successful does not mean that it came from God. I can attest on this on a personal level. You can build something, gain money, gain followers, gain popularity, gain opportunities, and still be completely outside of the will of God for your life. Why? Because success and God's favor are not always the same thing. The Bible says in Matthew 16:26, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul?" See, Satan understands something about human nature. If he can keep you entertained, distracted, validated, addicted to success, addicted to money, addicted to relationships, and he can keep you spiritually disconnected from God. That's why sometimes the enemy will give people exactly what they want, especially if what they want is not aligned with God's will. Because if your desires are outside of God's purpose, the enemy will happily feed you those desires if it keeps you away from intimacy with God. And this is exactly why so many people say that when they finally surrender their life to Christ, it seems as though all hell breaks loose. This happens because God will tear down everything that you built without Him. He starts exposing relationships, removing idols, breaking addiction, shifting environments, convicting your spirit, and suddenly the things that once felt comfortable no longer fit into your life. Some of you are grieving the things that God removed from your life, not realizing that they were never sent from Him in the first place. Or maybe it was something that God intended for you eventually, but you obtained it in the wrong season, in the wrong way, with the wrong motives. There is a difference between success and peace. There's a difference between open doors and God-ordained doors. Because some doors open and cost you your mental health. Some doors open and pull you away from prayer. And some doors open and feed your ego and starve your spirit. But when something comes from God, it may challenge you, it may stretch you, will require obedience, but it will not cost you your soul. James 3:16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." And 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace." So stop asking God to simply make you successful. Ask Him to align you with His will. Success sent from the enemy may be fun for a while, but eventually brings chaos and confusion and a lack of peace. Success and favor that comes from God comes with peace, comes with clarity. Even if it initially costs you your comfort, you eventually will have a peace that surpasses all understanding and the favor of God in your life. I spent years outside of the will of God for my life, and on the outside it looked successful, but on the inside I was drowning. On the inside I lacked peace. I wrote a book called Pain into Purpose that describes my journey of being outside of the will of God for my life. The frustrations and the pain and the heartbreak